The oppressed are allowed once every few years to decide which particular representatives of the oppressing class are to represent and repress them. The bureaucracy is a circle from which no one can escape. Its hierarchy is a hierarchy of knowledge. Democracy is the road to socialism. A nation cannot become free and at the same time continue to oppress other nations. The liberation of Germany cannot therefore take place without the liberation of Poland from German oppression. The country that is more developed industrially only shows, to the less developed, the image of its own future. Political power, properly so called, is merely the organized power of one class for oppressing another. History repeats itself, first as tragedy, second as farce. The history of all previous societies has been the history of class struggles. Revolutions are the locomotives of history. Man makes his own history, but he does not make it out of the whole cloth. He does not make it out of conditions chosen by himself, but out of such as he finds close at hand. History calls those men the greatest who have ennobled themselves by working for the common good. Experience acclaims as happiest the man who has made the greatest number of people happy. History does nothing. It possesses no immense wealth, it wages no battles. It is man, real, living man who does all that, who possesses and fights. History is not, as it were, a person apart, using man as a means to achieve its own aims. History is nothing but the activity of man pursuing his aims. History is the judge, its executioner, the proletarian. The philosophers have only interpreted the world, in various ways. The point, however, is to change it. Social progress can be measured by the social position of the female sex. Surround yourself with people who make you happy. People who make you laugh, who help you when you're in need. People who genuinely care. They are the ones worth keeping in your life. Everyone else is just passing through. Reason has always existed, but not always in a reasonable form. Let the ruling classes tremble at a communistic revolution. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. Working men of all countries unite. Society does not consist of individuals, but expresses the sum of interrelations, the relations within which these individuals stand. The tradition of all dead generations weighs like a nightmare on the brains of the living. The production of too many useful things results in too many useless people. The ruling ideas of each age have ever been the ideas of its ruling class. To be radical is to go to the root of the matter. For man, however, the root is man himself. I am nothing but I must be everything. Favorite motto de omnibus de titanium: everything must be doubted. Necessity is blind until it becomes conscious. Freedom is the consciousness of necessity. I am a machine condemned to devour books. The question whether objective truth can be attributed to human thinking is not a question of theory but is a practical question. Only your small-minded German Philistine who measures world history by the L and by what he happens to think are interesting news items, could regard 20 years as more than a day where major developments of this kind are concerned, though these may be again succeeded by days into which 20 years are compressed. The demand to give up the illusions about its condition is the demand to give up a condition that needs illusions. The rich will do anything for the poor but get off their backs. The last capitalist we hang shall be the one who sold us the rope. You must be aware that the reward for labor, and quantity of labor, are quite disparate things. The increase in value of the world of things is directly proportional to the decrease in value of the human world. Capitalism. Teach a man to fish, but the fish he catches aren't his. They belong to the person paying him to fish, and if he's lucky, he might get paid enough to buy a few fish for himself. Communism is the riddle of history solved, and it knows itself to be this solution. Nothing can have value without being an object of utility. The meaning of peace is the absence of opposition to socialism.